Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm finally revealing the Holy Grail trio of products I use for Naomi's perfect wash and go routine. This is probably going to be one of my favorite videos because I'm constantly asked about how I do this. Stay tuned to see how I turned her beautifully brushed out fro to long, soft, bouncy, voluminous curls. Alright, so we're starting off with clean, clarified, and totally detangled hair. Naomi's wash routine video with recommended shampoo and conditioner is linked in the description below, so check that out to get started with the best foundation. We're going to start off by sectioning off a small layer at the nape of the neck, pinning the rest of it up with an alligator clip and working in small sections throughout the head. I have my Denman brush here. Now normally during this step I'm using the Easy Detangler brush, but since everything's already detangled, I just have this here because I couldn't find my Easy Detangler brush at the moment. I do have two separate Denman brushes and I'll say why later on in the video, but I just made sure that the hair is totally smooth before I start applying our first product of the Holy Grail trio. Okay, clearly I need to get a new bottle, but I'm using every last drop of this magic. And it is magic. It's Uncle Funky's daughter, Curly Magic Curl Stimulator, and it's the very first part of the Holy Grail trio of product combinations that create this long-lasting, never tangled wash and go for 7 days. And before I go in detail about the ingredients in this magic juice, what I want you to pay close attention to is the technique that I'm using to apply these products to her hair. I'm starting from the root and I'm making sure all of the hair strands at the root are totally coated. This was the simple solution to Naomi's defined ends but very undefined roots. So a big tip is to section the hair in very thin sections all over the head. The other thing you want to do is to make sure you apply the product from the root down and get in the root with your fingertips where the palms of your hands may not grasp it well enough, and then brush it through that small section to optimize that even distribution. Before doing it this way, I would section off her hair into about 4 sections, take a big glob of product, rub it through my hands, and apply it all through that section by raking. This was just not evenly coating the hair strands, no matter how much I brushed it through afterwards. It was a major reason for uneven curls, where some were greatly defined and others were dry and frizzy. Oh, don't mind my friend. She had sister locks done a couple months ago, I think, and so she was just showing Naomi. Alright, so let's get into this Uncle Funky's Curl Magic Curl Simulator. So the basis of it is aloe vera juice, and if you don't know the benefits of aloe vera on your hair, you need to Google that now. There's so much internet information on it. It also has marshmallow extract. This is great at moisturizing. It thickens the hair strands, gives it body, gives it bounce. It creates very good slip, minimizes breakage, and I can't tell you how easy the hair is to brush through once this product is applied. And that's not the case after the gel that I'm going to talk about next. So your heavy brushing has to end here. All right, repeat on this side of the head. That Curl Magic really moisturized and clumped together her curls well. I use 2 Denman brushes because on one of them I take out every other row of bristles. This does create bigger clumps of curls. So I'm going to smooth that section of the hair and I'm applying Inner Sense I Create Whole Gel. This gel deserves praise. It deserves everything it receives. It is the best defining gel I've ever used. It creates the shiniest curls that I've ever seen on Naomi's hair. I've used so many products and this for sure is the one that brings the most shine. It's another product that's made with aloe and it's honey based, creating that firm hold. The nettle and the eucalyptus create the shine. And I'm using my Denman to curl out and away from the hairline. So this will build the volume at the roots, even though you're kind of weighing it down with the products. But don't worry, you keep watching, you'll see what happens. Just as I mentioned before, the product application is super important to creating a long-lasting wash and go. You'll be applying the Inner Sense I Create Whole Gel from the roots down to the ends. You're going to use your fingertips to get in the roots and then rake it down using the Denman brush to style it. But you shouldn't run the Denman brush through more than once or twice after applying this gel. One thing about the gel is that it is a bit sticky when you apply it to the hair. Now I know the word sticky and hair products don't sound good together, however it doesn't dry sticky. And like I said, it produces a really long lasting wash and go because of the firm hold that it creates. So brush the section of the hair before applying it. When you're applying it, smooth out any tangles by straightening out the hair shaft while you're applying the gel. That evenly coats it so that when you use the Denman brush to style, you only need to run it through once or twice at most. If you keep running it through, it'll cause your hair to tangle up because you'll keep creating new curl clumps by doing that. As you can see, I'm adding more water. The top of the head is the last section that I do, and sometimes it can dry out a little bit and you want your hair wet while you're doing this. You might need to add water more frequently depending on how quickly your hair loses it. Thinner hair around the hairline can get frizzy, so I finger coil it for a better result.
Daria, I love you.
Say, I love you too, Naomi.
She just won't say, I love you.
Alright, turn to the front now. Now, none of this should be hurting your baby, but if they're tender-headed, Naomi has some advice.
Breathe in and breathe out.
I'm going to speed up the video here, but I'm basically doing the exact same thing that I've been doing on the rest of her head, but around the crown and the top, I'm doing it in thinner sections, and I'm dividing those sections up into pieces. I don't know about anybody else, but the top of the head tends to get the frizziest the fastest because those are the hair strands that are going to be up against the car seat, the couch, and any other surface your kid puts their head against. And you can use the comb to grab the roots tightly to finger curl. We finally reached the third and final product of my Holy Grail trio. This is the Ouidad Advanced Climate Control Heat and Humidity Gel. It has a great anti-frizz technology. It seals the hair cuticle, keeps the moisture in and humidity out. I don't use it as meticulously as the Uncle Funky's and the Inner Sense gel because I don't want to ruin the curl clumps I've already styled by raking or straightening out the hair shaft to palm it through. So instead, I get about a quarter-size dollop on my hands, maybe a little bit more. Rub it together and just scrunch it all over the hair as you see me doing here. This is similar to back in the day when you would scrunch up mousse into your curls hanging upside down. And now we're ready to dry the hair completely. It has to be completely dry before doing anything else. So I have a hooded dryer, but I also use a diffuser to spot diffuse anything that hasn't dried. This process takes about an hour. This next step cannot be started unless the hair is completely dry or it'll result in frizz. We're separating the clumped curls with 1 pump of oil rubbed through our fingertips. The oil of choice today is the Curlsmith Bonding Oil. I've used Myel Organics Almond and Mint Oil in the past but ran out, so I decided to give this a try, and it's great. Some of the separated layers of curls have clumped together during the drying process, so it's important to separate them into smaller strands to give the hair bounce and body for that voluminous look. It should be easy to break them apart. Most of them reveal a natural split somewhere along the hair shaft, either up near the root or down at the ends. But if you're having trouble finding that natural split, take a clump of the curls and pull it to elongate the strand, and the natural split will eventually be obvious. Don't worry about ruining these perfectly smooth curls. The gel creates a crispy cast. It's not easy to break apart, so the curl separation process can withstand this type of manipulation without creating frizz. But if you accidentally break apart a curl clump in the wrong spot and causes a stringy, frizzed up curl, you'll want to get it back into place by finger coiling it in the natural direction of the curl as I just did. Here's where Naomi starts to get dramatic. We use a hair pick to fluff up the roots just a tad, but at this point, it's up to you whether or not you want to scrunch out the crunch or leave it crispy and crunchy and just fluff up the roots a bit, add a bow. Crispy and crunchy is what they did in the 90s and the 2000s, and we've moved past that since. However, on day one of the styling, especially if it's like on a Saturday or a Sunday and I know we're going somewhere and I want it to last throughout the week, I'll leave it crispy and crunch. There's my husband. He's crazy. If you follow us on Instagram, you know that's why I've muted his audio. In any case, when you scrunch out the crunch, you need to use oil, rub it through your hands, and literally just scrunch it totally out so that you break up the hard gel cast. Diffuse a bit, fluff the roots, and now you have a very soft, bouncy, voluminous curl that has no hard gel cast whatsoever. So you see the difference between the two. On the left, she has that hard gel cast. You'll see the curls are a bit stiff. On the right, they're nice, fluffy, bouncy. This method will keep your wash and go lasting for a good 7 days, but you have to make sure you're taking care of it in between the days. You have to make sure you're tying it down at night, silk bonnet, scarf or pillowcase, and fluff in the morning. We've been using these products for 9 months. It took 3 to 4 months though to notice the difference in her hair, and it was well worth the wait. Obviously everyone has different curl types, but if you try this product combination, let me know in the comments below how it turned out.
I hope you enjoy my beautiful hair. If you do, like and subscribe. Bye!